What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Nick Underhill of neworleans.football. Welcome to the program. How's sunny California going?
It's going good, man. Everything's good out here. Offense is starting to look a little bit better. Team's starting to come together a little bit more. So yeah, everything's good.
Nick, so we I was thinking about it in the shower last night, and
Sure.
Tua Tagovailoa has Tuanon, right?
Sure.
He had Tuanon defending him constantly against slander. Jameis Winston had Jameis one of one, a veritable insane one-man army. I mean, actually legitimately insane when you look at some of the conspiracy stuff. And so I want to start the Carnies, and we're going to hit people with the Carfax. So give us the Carfax on yesterday's practice, because my guy sounds like he's practicing pretty damn well.
Yeah, 10 to 15
Yeah.
yesterday. I had a really good, really efficient day. Had a really good they did a drill down to practice minute 15, got to drive down, get some points, end of game situation, need a field goal. I mean, he handled that 2 days ago. Had another successful 2-minute drill, went down the field, scored. I mean, he's doing the stuff he needs to do in this practice. And I think the thing that's most exciting about what Carr's got going on is that the connection with Olave is looking pretty good. I mean, 6 catches yesterday. End of the season last year, we saw it too. So it feels like a continuation of that, building on it a little bit. And I think it's looked pretty good overall. Again, it's you told me to hold the disclaimers last time, but it's practice, no pressure. I mean, so let's see if there's, how it looks when there's pressure and all that stuff on him, when it's actually going. But I mean, I think it's theoretically at least within the realm of possibility that getting him in a better offensive system is going to lead to better results. I mean, that's something that I think, whether you're predisposed to, the hate, don't want to believe, or you're the leader of
The Carnies.
the Carr cadets.
Yeah, the Carnies. The Carnies.
The Carnies.
The Carnies.
All right. Well, whether you're the leader, I mean, like, it's something that you have to allow to be possible. So he might be better in this offense. I thought he was, pretty solid last year. I mean, too inconsistent, obviously, but it's possible that he could be a little bit better in this. And I like the results early on. I think the system looks pretty good. It feels like he fits it pretty good. When you add in that pass rush, we'll see. I mean, my biggest concern with the team still is that offensive line. So
yeah,
that might be tough. But overall, I think he's doing the things he needs to do in this game.
So, speaking of the O-line, well, it's pretty interesting. Lucas Patrick's there. I like the UDFA kid from Boston College we talked about earlier in the show. But I want to talk about the rushing attack, Nick. Now, that can also be something that's a bit tough to parse during camp, right? I mean, you're not having live tackling, but I've been reading that maybe it looks like there's been some big holes, like this more diverse attack is creating opportunity. What's been your read on how the run game has looked under Coops?
So far, so good. I mean, like you said, it looks like they're moving the ball well there. It looks like the offensive line is opening those holes, and I think they have the right running backs with the right type of patience and vision to kind of take advantage of going full bore on this type of scheme. Now, like, it isn't entirely new, but I think it's fair to say that it might be being taught better and executed a little bit better than I had previously, these outside zone runs. So I mean, they do look good. I like Jordan Mims a lot. Like his and I'm interested to really see if that carries on into the preseason too. I mean, he's been really good. It's just like the patience and the vision, and it just seems like he's always making the right decisions. I think it's benefited Alvin quite a bit too. They got athletic offensive linemen. It is one area where I think Trevor Penning does look pretty good. Like, let him just kind of get out in space and hit some people. There's times where he misses his landmarks and stuff too. Like, it's obviously not perfect, but like when he's on, it looks pretty good. So if that's going good, I think that's another thing that helps Carr a lot too. I mean, they couldn't run. They were terrible running the ball last year, and everything builds off it, and that can help hide some of the offensive line issues in the pass blocking, since so much of this is off of play action. So it's really important. But so far, I do feel like that's been looking like it's trending in the right direction. But like you said, when they start hitting, we'll really find out.
Well, let's don't bury the lead. Speaking of running the ball, let's talk the fullback position battle like we're all wanting to know about. Adam Prentice, Xander Horvath, who has the lead there?
So it was Prentice in the beginning. It went back to Horvath, and it's gone back to Prentice in these practices. But I'm gonna ask you guys, like, look at the depth chart,
Mhm.
the depth chart they put out yesterday. It feels like if you look at it, everything you see on the defensive side is kind of like exactly as you see it, and everything you see on the offensive side is like plausible, but it's not necessarily exactly how we've seen it in these practices, which leads me to believe that maybe they could possibly be like trying to use a little bit of, a little bit
A
of
little bit of
subterfuge
gamesmanship.
on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's a weird place to do it. I like it, at the fullback, a lot of people are probably like, well, who cares? Well, I think these two guys are vastly different. And I
Yeah.
think one allows you to do some things and the other doesn't. And yeah, like you can split out Prentice and do some stuff with him, run him on some routes, throw him the ball. But we saw kind of how that went last year. Like, he doesn't have the greatest hands in the world. Horvath kind of does.
Yeah.
And I think if you have him, it opens up your possibilities. And maybe you wouldn't want people to prepare for it. I could be, way too, my third eye might be way too open on this one, but I kind of think that Horvath is going to win the job. And I feel like they're going to try to hide it because that's something you kind of got to prepare for a little bit. And maybe if you flip it at the last second and don't really let people see it, maybe that's where it goes. But there's a few things on this depth chart that just kind of aren't what we've seen. The tight ends aren't listed. There's no way Jacobson's ahead of Holker. There's a couple things that on the wide receiver depth chart I don't think are true. I don't think Kendra Miller's ahead of Jordan Mims, even if healthy. There's a handful of things here, and I think that's one of them. I think they're going to try to hide it a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe I'm too far into the weeds here, but I kind of feel like that's the way it's trending.
Hey, we know like carrying 4 running backs is really not done anymore in the NFL. Like, is Kendre Miller maybe in trouble here? I mean, I know he's a 3rd-round pick just a year ago, but Jamal Williams, where he sits in his contract, Alvin Kamara, Jordan Mims. Like, is Kendre Miller in some trouble maybe of not even making the team?
I think Kendra Miller's like strongly on notice, big time. Like I think he's somebody that needs to make a case here. I really do, and it's kind of crazy to say that. I think he's far and away more talented than Mims and Jamal. Like we saw it last year. I think he could be really good, but I think they're incredibly frustrated with him right now. And all it would take is for him to get on the field, show the talent, and I think all that stuff maybe kind of evaporates quickly if he can find a way to be like consistently available. But he's got to figure out how to do that, and if he doesn't, I really do think that it's possible that I think there's at least a little bit of heat on his seat. Like, does it fully ignite? I think that's to be determined. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the proper read of the situation.
Talking Nick Underhill, neworleans.football is the website, guys. Again, I cannot recommend enough. If you are a Saints fan or you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on, they got the entire team out there in California covering it, boots on the ground. Nick, it seems like with Jake Haener having to go get that skin cancer procedure, that Spencer Rattler really put his best foot forward with the increased reps. I've heard that he looks very good on the run. I enjoyed reading that his best of the day maybe came with Chase Young in his face, which I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, all he dealt with was defender in his face for the last 2 years at South Carolina. Is that your number one? Like, for me, it's very chalky, but that feels like maybe the most interesting thing to watch this Saturday against the Cardinals, even though I guess, to be fair, like maybe that has the least amount of impact on the regular season.
Oh no, definitely the most. I mean, it's the thing I'm most eager to see because you got to see it in the game. Like, you absolutely have to see it in the game. I mean, it's just last year. Haener looked good all training camp and then got in the games and kind of wilted a little bit and changed the perception. So Rattler's got to go and show that he can do this when it actually matters. But I mean, man, he's been really good. And it's not you can't overhype. Like, yesterday was 15 of 19 with a drop. I mean, you can't overhype that. Like, it's just what happened. 2 days before that, he's 7 of 8 in team drills. 7 of the completions are touchdowns. I mean, for the completions or touchdowns. You can't overhype that. Like, he looks really good out here. He keeps getting better. Like, the progression has been kind of crazy. I thought mini camp, like, there's a lot of stuff to work on. you go out here now, like he looks really, really polished. Like he's hitting a lot of throws. He has the best arm here. Like he has probably the best arm on any football field he steps on, unless like, there's 5 or 6 guys walking the earth that could probably throw a football better than him. It's interesting to me because like when I watched the college stuff, like it felt like the speed of how he was making decisions was kind of the thing that held him back a little bit. And it kind of felt like that needed to speed up. It looks like that stuff's happening faster, but I don't know if that's a product of being in camp. And if you get in a game, like maybe something, doesn't fire the same way as far as the decision making. But one of the things we hear about this offense is that it is supposed to make it easier for the quarterbacks to get through their reads, make decisions quickly, kind of like use the motion and the play action and all that stuff to like declare stuff early and kind of know where to go with the ball before it's snapped. And, maybe that's helped speed them up. But yeah, he looks good. Like I think he's a reason to be excited. But again, got to see it in the preseason games. But everything he could be doing to this point, like I feel like he's doing it the right way.
Nick, today, if the Saints were playing a regular season game, who would the third receiver be?
That's the biggest to be determined thing in camp. I think it would be Cedric Wilson. I think he's made more plays. He's been ahead of everyone. Bob Memes might be 4th right now. Like, and A.T. Perry, I don't know. I think no one needs a bigger game than him. And maybe he's just a gamer. Like maybe when he gets out here and you ramp stuff up, he plays better. But it has been a quiet off season. He started to make a couple plays since he got called out last week by DA. I just don't think the frequency's enough. Mason Tipton maybe be in that mix in the top 4 too. I mean, he's somebody that I think we need to see it in the game. So he'd probably be ahead of Bob Means. I'd probably put him 4th. It's crazy. Like I feel like we've seen more of Stanley Morgan than AT to this point. Like he just needs to start making more plays and start flashing. And yeah, I mean it might be a gamer situation. Weirdly enough, like Samson Nakua is coming here for a couple of days, and I feel like he's flashing like with more frequency. Like it just has been really quiet. And I feel like if he was the third, if you told me AT was the third guy on the team and he like earned that spot, I would feel significantly better about the prospects of the offense. But without him in that role, like that's a position that worries me a lot. And the thing that worries me about it is that I feel like you're putting a lot on Derek Carr, and I think you're a better offense if you're taking things off of Derek Carr's shoulders. And I just feel like that the weapons just all the way across the board on offense, it feels really, really thin.
Nick Underhill, neworleans.football is the website. He's out there in California. Nick, thank you so much, man. Enjoy this weekend's game, and I look forward to continuing to follow the work throughout the camp and throughout the week, but also hearing your NOLA Arizona breakdown after that is done. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, take it easy, guys.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.